Former President of the Nigerian Senate, David Mark, has faulted the high number of standing committees recently created by both chambers of the National Assembly, saying it would encourage legislative inefficiency. Mark, in a paper he presented at a two-day retreat of principal officers of the National Assembly held in Ikotekpene, Akwa Ibom State, which ended this weekend, said the number of special and standing committees in the Senate and the House of Representatives were too many and would affect productivity. Arise News analyst Dayo Sobowale joins us now to discuss the call by the former Senate President for the National Assembly to reduce its committees for efficiency and how to make the federal legislature more viable. Good afternoon, Mr. Sobowale.
Good afternoon.
Thank you for being here. Of course. Now, when you see this statement by the former President of the Senate when he faulted the high number of standing committees on both chambers, saying it would encourage legislative inefficiency, do you concur with his stance?
Well, he knows what he's saying. He's a veteran. He was a veteran legislator. He was in the House for about 8 years, so he knows what he's saying. You look at the number, 60 committees, House of 70, 60. You see, it is unwieldy. No matter how you look at it, it is unwieldy. Although when they were inaugurated, the Speaker told the legislators in the House, that there are no juicy or special committees, that all committee members are equal. But then, we know the committees that some people long after, like appropriation and so on. But essentially, what David Mark is talking about is about delivery on their legislative objective. That is why they are there. I certainly agree with him that the number is unwieldy. I don't even know how they will be able to supervise themselves. And according to their House rules, a legislator can be in 6 or 7 committees. So how do they concentrate on any topic or on all topics for that matter? It is like creating a bureaucracy within the legislature. If you have bureaucracy, red tape, invariably goes ahead to produce corruption. Even NASIMA, Manufacturing Associations of Nigeria, have protested about a few days ago that the rate at which chief executives of private industries are being summoned is making some of them to want to leave Nigeria because they do not have enough time to do their work and make profit and pay tax as required. That the law does not say they should be monitoring the business community or private sector with the same frequency as they monitor MDAs. MDAs are supposed to be their purview, but they have gone outside that. You know, in the past, you have had committees going to banking industry, going into certain industries, and when at the end of the day, some of these probing legislators too were picked up by the security agencies and taken to court. I don't see that happening now because people should learn from what happened in the past. I understand the longest serving legislator was David Mark. His deputy was Ekweremandu. You know where he is, huh?
Oh, yeah.
So that's a lesson for people to learn from. But you see, I see their function as sanitizing the political system. If people don't perform and they get petitions, it is their duty to investigate honestly and dispassionately. There is an editorial in This Day Today about hacking, that many Nigerians, when they call themselves doctor, professor, people don't cross-check, and then they discover they are not what they say they are. Because you have fake policemen, fake. So, and the editorial went on to say that many of the people in our National Assembly perhaps got titles they don't deserve and made headway in society to become politicians and legislators. But then, my own view, again, is that it is their duty to make laws. But they cannot be the people implementing the laws. at the same time. Because if you keep on summoning people, come and answer, if they answer what they have come for and keep on probing them, you must be up to something. You must be up to something. Interrogation or house cleaning exercises should not turn into intimidation and blackmail, so that people are not even able to function. And then we should be afraid of capital flight if we literally terrorize with the oversight function of the legislature our choice industries that give employment to our people and provide for our needs and wants. Yes.
All right then. I mean, he was the Senate president for 8 years, so definitely
he knows what he said.
He knows what he's talking about. And part of the recommendations, which piqued my interest, because he spoke about, the lawmakers being the ones sanitizing the political system. And one of the recommendations he made was the importance of bipartisan collaboration in the National Assembly. And I want to put this to you. How do you reckon, lawmakers can foster this collaboration and bring such benefits to the legislative process? Because we've seen in certain cases where, there's a clash of ideas and are not able to necessarily get to an end goal. So what do you think
I get what you are saying. I'll give you a good example of what you are saying. Not here. In the U.S., know what's going on between the Democrats and the Republicans. Know how they peppered Trump during his time, because they had majority. They are doing the same thing to Biden now. Via Hunter Biden.
Right
that's
now.
right. And they are irreconcilable. You see, the party in power has more. It can be 7-6, but no, the majority
wins.
Presidential system, the buck stops on the table of the president. What they are doing in the U.S. is the worst example of lack of practice, lack of cooperation in legislative committees. That's a good example. We don't have that here. We don't have that here. Is there much difference between APC and PDP? Ideologically or culturally, they are literally boards of the same feather. So you don't have decision. In the U.S. is divided on cultural basis. Even in the U.S. and some Christians are terrorists, parents who object to certain things being taught against in schools to are called state terrorists, just like the people that did 9/11. Things have turned, there's a cultural war. We don't have that here. You are not divided on religious ground, you are not divided on sexual ground. So I think our communities are they're bipartisan and cooperative. You get me? And I never pray that we get to the sort of division that is happening in the U.S. Congress now.
Well,
so I'm happy on that.
Amen.
Yes.
Well, Mr. Sobowale, when you look at steps that might be crucial and non-negotiable when it comes to making the federal legislature more viable, what would you like to see in the long run and in the short term? Brevity in discussions, more action, more efficiency, like David Mark asked for, and more responsiveness, you get me, to the wishes of the voters who put them there. One reputation this assembly has, which is not a good one, which is always, this is the 10th assembly, that's always been there. Their function is to vet the budget and approve it. But when it comes from the executive, they add their own to it and say they will never do it until executive has included their own. It is an open secret. Obasanjo wanted to defy them at one time, but he almost got into trouble because the budget is like the country will close down if the budget is not there. You can't perform. They are the people who approve the budget. You get me? So they have a strong role to play. But I want to see how that works out now. Well, it never did during Buhari, so I don't see much that Tinubu can do about it because it's the legislative arm, the members feel it is part of their own parks. But if another thing, based on what I would want them to do, is responsiveness to the problems on the ground. You get me? This removal of fuel subsidy has starved people of funds.
lower their quality of life, they should pass a bill amongst themselves and let us know, you get me, that they too are making some sacrifices. Reduce their tax, if possible, their salary. What's wrong with that? Or at least let us know how much they earn. People don't know how much they earn. So they must show responsible leadership to the nation and spend more time attending, because most times you see empty green seats, empty red seats, with thrones without kings, and so that is not on. Let them be more responsive and let them react to problems that affect the masses, the electorate, which put them in power.